Money FM 89.3. Best of Friday Night Live. Friday night at the movies.
Dan Koh is in love with Alice. Alice in Borderland, to be precise. A Japanese sci-fi thriller drama TV series that's taking Netflix by storm. It's being watched all over the world. Meanwhile, I am in love with Andor, an American science fiction thriller drama television series. Alice in Borderland is based on the manga of the same name, and Andor is a prequel set just before the original Star Wars.
Yep.
Completely different, but we love them equally.
Yep.
So I thought, let's try and win each other over. He hasn't seen mine.
Nope.
I haven't seen his. You, our listeners, may have seen both or one or neither. So what do you think? WhatsApp 88550893. He's going to make the case for Alice in Borderland. I'm going to make the case for Andor. And by the end of it, we hope you watch both. So,
Yes.
right, you kick things off. What is Alice in Borderland about?
Okay, it's a very simple concept, all right? If you've watched Squid Game and many of these other game shows, it's pretty much like that. So Alice in Borderland is basically a Japanese survivor thriller that talks about the antagonist. He's called Arisu. He's a gamer who finds himself and his friends transported into a parallel world or an empty version of Tokyo, where they must compete in deadly games in order to survive and extend their visas and survive in the world. So
Brilliant.
essentially, it's like a very dystopian-like storyline.
So what is it? A good dystopia always comments on real world. So what is it kind of saying, whether it's an allegory or whatever? What is it saying about modern society, or what comment is it making, if anything? I don't know.
Oh, very good question. I didn't think that deep. But if I were to put it into, I guess, a learning lesson for us watching out there, it's a little bit of how we react as humans when we're faced with death, right? Life or death situation. How would humans react? How would we perform? How selfish will we get?
Right.
And how willing are we to give up our lives for others? So I feel like that's a little bit of a case in point for that show.
Yeah.
And it's quite interesting. The one thing I really enjoyed is the fact that the games are represented by playing cards. You know, poker playing cards, right? So each suit and number dictates the game's type and difficulty. And losing a game would ultimately result in a player's death. Right? So the series would follow Arisu and his friends as they, start to unravel the mysteries of the Borderland, because they got transported, in a blink of an eye. They don't even know what's the science behind it all, because everyone just disappeared on the face of the earth, right? And only the players were there to play the games, extend their visas, and hopefully survive. So that's basically what the show is all about.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
If you've seen Alice in Borderland, let us know what you think. WhatsApp 88550893. Now, Andor. I'm setting my stall out straight away to say this was the best TV show I have seen in a year.
Wow.
It's that good. Now, Andor, it doesn't even matter if you're a Star Wars fan or you've never even seen Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's a series that follows this thief turned spy called Cassian Andor. That's what the name comes from. But it's actually set in the build-up to the original Star Wars film. The original one from 1977.
Yep.
And it's about a man who basically steals the plans to blow up the original Death Star. So that's what it leads up to, and therefore it kicks off the new Star Wars movie.
Right.
But it's about so much more than that. It's about living in an empire. And that's so relevant to folks today. Unfortunately, the political climate we're in today, it's about populism and how that leads to radicalism and how that leads to nationalism and how that leads to fascism and how that leads to empire. So you can see why it's never been more relevant. But I've never seen a show, and this is a Star Wars show, but I've never seen a show that so accurately gave a sort of realistic depiction of what it would be like, or what it must be like to live under an empire, to be under imperial control, to be under surveillance all the time, to be scared of that camera in the street and that stormtrooper on the corner. It shows you the everyday consequences of what it's like to be a citizen. And your point, it's back to your point, every single day is a battle for survival.
Exactly.
Every single day. That's why it's a dystopian thing. It's won several Emmys. It's rightly seen as a modern masterpiece, and Rotten Tomatoes has given it an approval rating of 96%. It's one of the highest rated shows in the last 12 months.
Wow.
So
look at
essentially
that.
the same. They're both about battles for survival.
They are.
They're both bleak dystopian looks at what mankind is capable of doing in the name of survival. And they're both brilliant. Right, so that's the overview. Characters. Tell us about your favourite characters.
Ooh, my favorite character. Very good question. I forgot his name actually. Let me see if I can pull it out. Oh yes, it's this guy called Chishiya, right? So he's not exactly the antagonist of the show, but he is that side character that helps the antagonist to the fullest, right? Of course, that side buddy is a sidekick, right? And he has a very, very chill vibe. He is rather laid back. And he's very, the kind of friend that you get where he's very humble and he is like the wisest guy in the group, but doesn't say much until you need him. So he's that kind of guy. And I feel that this is the kind of person, because when I look at the show, I mean, obviously they were, going to play the games in groups, right? And I could see myself and my friends and how our characters depict each of our characters in there. And I come to realize that at the end of the day, we do need that one friend who's so wise to give us the right options and to just gently push us towards the right direction. Because it's because of Chishiya that the characters survived a lot of the games out there. So it also reiterates the point of the power of choice. One choice can change everything.
Yeah.
It can mean the end, or it can mean the start of something new.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good. I've got a couple. Well, the main character, of course, is Cassian Andor.
Yes.
He's terrific. Now, the reason I like his character is because it's so much more realistic about what a real rebel is like in real life. Most rebels are not idealistic, university educated, or politically motivated. They're just trying to survive.
Yeah.
And he actually starts out as a thief. He's a thief, he's a criminal. But then it becomes a scavenger, actually. And then it becomes a battle for survival. And if you look through history, and I'm not going to pick on certain countries in the world today, but those kinds who do end up becoming rebels against oppressive governments, it's usually just because they're trying to feed their family.
Yeah.
They're trying to scavenge for food, and then they become
It's
rebels.
The fight of for survival at the end of the
Exactly.
day.
It's not about idealism or some course they studied at university.
Yeah.
The other character I just briefly mentioned, there's this character called Dedra Miro. Now, she reminds me of a lot of people in in the world. I'm being diplomatic here.
Okay.
If you're living under an empire or a controlling government, you may not be an evil person. You're a regular civil servant. She works for the Imperial Security Bureau.
Okay.
And she's just following orders.
Yeah.
But at what point do the orders become so extreme that you stop? It's all one thing to say, right, I need you to write this paper for this corrupt government, and you do it. I need you to arrest this person, and you do it. And then it's like, I need you to kill this person. Do you do it? And then it reaches a point, what if this person is innocent?
Yeah.
So how far, it's kind of like your survival point.
Yeah.
How far do we go under an oppressive society to follow the rules of our government to protect our rice bowl, to protect our family? Would we break the law?
Yeah.
Would we close one eye? Would we kill people?
I guess
It's all about that.
boils down to morals, right? And how much of
And
it
fear.
are you willing to live?
A lot of it is fear. as
I mean,
well.
a lot of the reason why I feel like rebels aren't willing to step up their ideologies would be, fear is one thing. And of course, the fear of consequences. After all, if they're the only breadwinner of the family where they got to support and their family depend on them for survival, then that's something to think about as well, right? So I guess at the end of it all, it boils down to choices, whether people are willing to step up and make the right choice, because that's what paves the future of mankind, I suppose.
Brilliant. Okay, to wrap it up, one reason why someone should watch Alice in Borderland.
Very simple. If you're looking for games, specifically like poker card games, not gambling, of course, okay? We don't condone that at all. But games that could be fun to, get your friends to play along, please do watch it, right? It could be fun drinking games. It could be fun games to socialize with people you just met. I'm telling you, it's so intuitive. The way they come up with, they strategize the games it's just out of this world, literally speaking.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
For me, I would say, even apart from everything I've just said, it's a comment on modern society, it's a comment on human behavior, the current political scene around the world. It's one of the most edge of the seat, bite your fingernails thrillers you'll ever see. So Andor's my recommendation on Disney Plus.
And Alice in Borderland is mine.
It's on Netflix, I
That's
think.
on Netflix. They've got 3 seasons. The third one just released, so you're in for a treat.
Okay, last question for fun. If you were going to be any kind of character
Yep.
in your universe, your Alice in Borderland, not a specific character, what kind of character, based on your personality, do you think you'd be?
Oh, man, that's a good question, Neil.
right?
Yeah. I think I would be, like myself, still quirky and try to make the best out of everything because I like spontaneous. I like to be spontaneous, right? And I feel like the main character resonates with me a lot, although I feel like I don't have the ability to think as well as him.
Brilliant.
So I might only survive the second game.
Well, mine's a bit like yours because I thought I would be that cool underground writer, you know, secretly scheming and plotting, and I'll be writing underground news stories that I'd be leaking on the media, you know, about what's really happening. And then I realized I'm 1.94 meters tall. I completely stand out, and I'd be shot
It's
within
a clear
week.
headshot right there.
I'd be shot in the first week. That would be the end of me.
Money FM 89.3.